Did you just buy the RG351P a couple months ago? Maybe you got the RG350M, one of the various Anbernic or other companies, emulation handhelds. Like I keep saying, they're constantly putting out new ones. So we now have the RG351M. This is the latest and greatest from Anbernic, which I'm hearing there's a vertical one coming out pretty soon too. Oh my God, it's so difficult to keep up on these things. So if you have the 351P, this is pretty much going to be identical. We did review that a while back, I believe in October. Take a look at that video if you're interested. But the specs are going to be pretty much the same. Now, there are a couple differences here. The system here obviously has a aluminum alloy CNC processed shell, and it does have Wi-Fi built in from the specs that I have looked at. But yeah, it's going to be identical in performance. Got the same CPU and same screen, all that good stuff. GPU, Mali G31, 1.5 gigahertz CPU, RK3326 quad core. A lot of these latest devices out there for the past so many months been using the same specs. So there is that. But this one, I do have to say, it's beautiful. I dig the way it looks. I like how it feels. So let's go ahead and take this out of the box and take a look at it and test it out a little bit, right? So I do have actually the 350M, which I just realized I never reviewed this thing on my channel. But here's the 350M. I just had noticed when I grabbed this, comparing it to this, just they're different in size, kind of. So I just wanted to compare that real quick. But this was the 350M. I'll put the specs side by side. That way you can kind of freeze frame if you so choose. Look at that right there. Very nice. So enough of that. There's the specs between the 350 and 351M. But yeah, there's the 350 Metal Edition, which, like I said, I didn't review this. I think they sent this to me a while ago. It got lost in the mail. And then one just recently showed up out of nowhere. I think that ship has sailed on that one. So we're taking a look at the 351M. But I just wanted to real quick kind of showcase that they are different in size a bit. Like I noticed the 351M is a little bit longer. You see that? Just a wee bit. Like an eighth of an inch. I don't think that's a quarter of an inch. Maybe a little over an eighth of an inch. But beside that, they both are very similar in feel. The 350M is a little bit taller. So I think it's probably the same amount of metals used here, but it's just spaced differently probably. That's most likely what the deal is there. So let's get that out of here. We don't care about that thing anymore. Here is the 351M. There we go. Volume slider on the side, speakers on the bottom, reset. Our micro SD card. This does have a 64 gigabyte with games on it. Power button there. L1, L2, R1, R2. USB-C for charging. OTG, headphone jack. Little tiny slim butt cheeks. You know, if you like them big butts, this ain't gonna do it for you. It's got them very slim ones. But there is that very nice screen. What was that screen? 3.5 inch 320 by 480 IPS OCA all fit screen. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and power this thing on. Let that boot up real quick. Anbernic logo right there. Nice. Let's see what else is in the box. USB-C charging cable and the RG351M user manual. One side in Chinese, other side in English. There's a lot of operations here. Like I noticed earlier, to exit games, it's A plus the start button. So there is that. Bunch of different combinations. What do we have? R3 plus L2, fast forward. Save states, R3 plus R1. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here. But let's go ahead and set that aside. So here's the system. Here she is, all booted up. I really do like the feel of this. I mean, these metal systems feel really nice. I mean, they do have a really premium feel to them. But, you know, the plastic version, I don't think was too bad. And like I said, this is going to be the same exact performance as far as that goes. The screen is looking really nice. Viewing angles, superb. Can't complain on that. The stupid light getting in the way, glaring up the screen. Let me turn that a little bit. There we go. Man, that's a little bit better. Okay, so there we go. We got some CPS 1, 2, and 3, MSX, PC Engine, Nintendo, Game Boy, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Game Boy Color, Advance, Genesis, Game Gear, Mega Drive, Dreamcast, Neo Geo, Pocket, PlayStation, PSP, and all games. If we hit start, we can go to main menu, mess around with some stuff, get it, put in your network settings if you want to enable Wi-Fi for whatever reason, adding games through your computer. You know what I'm saying, right? Tons of different options here. We're not going to mess with all that. Pretty basic stuff that we've seen over and over again throughout the years. So here we go. Let's find something to test out. Toilet Kids. Speaker sounds all right. Or, we got, stereo speakers. One of them's not a dummy or anything like that. All right, let's see what this shit's about. Taking a big fat deuce. Now it's time to fight some stuff. Okay. We're fighting shit. Okay, enough of that. How do we exit? Start and A. I thought start and A? No? Start and select? No? Press both triggers to get into the RetroArch menu. Let's see some basic ass Super Mario Bros. I don't think there are any turds in this. Come on, dude. Shouldn't take a year to load up Super Mario Bros. So between this, if I remember correctly, and the 351P, it feels pretty much the same as far as the buttons and D-pad. I'm not noticing anything unusual. Buttons minorly stiff, but overall not too bad. No screen tearing, no weird wonkiness going on. These kind of games are going to perform just fine. Okay, so we got Doom on the Super Nintendo. Little audio's a little crackly here. If I remember on the 351P, it was the same thing. Some games, the audio can be a little crackly. Like I know Street Fighter 3 Third Strike on CPS 3, the audio comes through a little tinny. But yeah, this is snap, crackle, poppin'. This sounds like shit. Like Toilet Kids. I mean, the game performs about as well as I think it should on the Super Nintendo. It's been a while since I played the Super Nintendo version. Might be a little tiny bit slow, but the game was already kind of sluggish to begin with. So these like special chip games may struggle a little bit here. Here's some Castlevania on Nintendo 64. I don't know what's up with these white lines above the screen. It was on the side too, but it just disappeared a second ago. I'm not sure what's up with that. Getting a little crackle. Little bit. Which Castlevania? Legacy of Darkness. See, the sides of the screen's kind of looking a little strange. Cornell. So it's like a lot of Nintendo 64 games on these types of systems, these RK 3326 quad-core CPUs. I always notice, like, a lot of times these Nintendo 64 games, they kind of struggle a little bit in the beginning. Like this one's, it's a little choppy here and there. Like you see when I attacked, the game had a little chop action. So performance for stuff like this, like Nintendo 64 and Dreamcast, is always going to be very, very hit and miss. Some people will accept it, some people won't. And I just had to point that out. Don't expect perfection when it comes to Nintendo 64. But this game is garbage. Let's get out of here. So here's a little Mortal Kombat 4 for the PlayStation 1. Let's check this out, see how it looks and performs. So far, so good. Just took forever for the game to load up. Scorpion. I don't know what I'm doing, but hey. Fucker. When Okay, I don't know. I'm not that big of a Mortal Kombat player. I don't really know the moves, but this is performing very nice, as most PlayStation 1 games should on this system. Typically, not any issues with PlayStation 1. So keep that in mind. Looking good here. PlayStation's going to be fine. Dreamcast, Nintendo 64, just like my previous video demonstrated with this, chipset with the RG351P, various other devices that have the same specs and same software, similar performance. So all your 8, 16-bit, all your handheld stuff for the most part, PSP kind of hit and miss as well. Like I said, check out my previous video on the 351P, same performance. So this is going to be, do you want to spend $40 more for this to have a metal shell and to have Wi-Fi, or pay $40 less and get the plastic version? The choice is yours. The power is in your hands to make that decision. And I hope you make the best decision possible. And whatever handheld you buy, makes all your dreams come true, I guess. Right? I mean, there'll be a new one of these in a couple weeks, so keep that in mind. Find one that you love, or just buy a PSP or some other device that, you already know what the performance is. I don't freaking know. I don't care. This thing is pretty cool, but you got to understand the limitations there and if the price point works for you. So, hey, guys, really do appreciate it. With that said, big-ass thumb butt, all blurry like a Bigfoot. Peace out, bye-bye, and boom.